Are you interested in moving into a Toronto neighborhood that offers easy walkable access to the waterfront, beautiful homes on mature tree-lined streets, excellent schools, and community pride? Then you're going to want to watch this video. And I'm going to discuss one of my favorite neighborhoods, the beach. And we're going to get after it right now. The beach is located on Toronto's east side. It's about a 20 to 30 minute drive into downtown Toronto. And it's surrounded by, roughly 2 kilometers of beach along Toronto's shoreline. So almost anywhere within the community is walkable within 10 to 15 minutes max. And it's just a great place if you enjoy being outdoors and doing outdoor activities, whether it's running along the boardwalk, riding your bike along the Martin Goodman Trail, kayaking in Lake Ontario, paddle boarding. All of those activities are really popular and can be done with easy access. What also makes the beach so unique is that it really is a small town atmosphere within a large city. So you do benefit from all of the amenities that you would ever want in a big city like Toronto. Easy access to shopping, plenty of schools, incredible parks, are just a few of the things that you'll enjoy about living in the beach. Some of the incredible green spaces and parks that we have in the beach are the Glen Stuart Ravine, which is an incredible walking space just off of Glen Manor, really in the center part of the beach. You've got Woodbine Park, which is towards the west side. You've got the Balmy Beach Park, or otherwise known as the Purple Park, that's in behind the Balmy Beach Club, which is, between Beach Avenue and Silver Birch, down by the waterfront. These are just a few of the incredible parks that we have where people either just enjoy walking or taking the kids out to play. But also the beach is known, you almost have to have kids and pets. So dogs are really common down on the beach. We even have a couple of spaces where you can take your dog off leash down at the bottom of Silver Birch, just to the east between the RC Harris Water Treatment Plant. Right along the beach is an off-leash area where people can bring their dogs and the dogs can run around and swim in the water. And it's just a great spot if you like to go and get out and be with your dog. Again, I almost think that sometimes it's a bylaw to live down here. You got to have kids and dogs. So if those are two things that are important to you, then the beach community is definitely going to want to be on your list. If you're wondering what types of properties are popular in the beach, there's so many, but just to get into the majority of what's being offered here, typically, you have row houses or townhomes, lots of semi-detached properties, and detached properties as well as condos. In terms of the architecture, very much Victorian style, Edwardian style, there's craftsman style, a lot of traditional type of architecture. But as there's been more infilling where some of the older properties get torn down and new houses get infilled, there's getting to have more of a theme of even modern style homes are appearing more often in the beach. And I think as time goes on, and as long as it's done tastefully, residents are more acceptable about some of these modern properties, depending on how they're done. But it's always a hot button topic when you come into such a traditional neighborhood that's surrounded by beautiful oak trees that umbrella the neighborhoods throughout the neighborhood and on all the streets. It's just something that if you like that kind of charm and character in history, you'll absolutely love living in the beach. One of the downfalls, or what could be considered a con, would be with having an older property comes the maintenance of owning them. Whether it's, having to have dead wood cut out of some of these older trees, that can be a costly venture, or even just the homes themselves, renovating them, updating electrical systems, mechanical systems. A lot of the homes can be unlevel, and having a good contractor that can level those floors, square everything up, and make the home beautiful the way that you want it, obviously comes at a cost. So part of that with living in the beach is it is a more expensive neighborhood, but if you have the budget and you can afford it, this is a great place to live. One of the things I really love about a beach character home, as some might say, it's the front porches. I'm somebody that loves to be outside and using my front porch like an outdoor living space. And if that's the type of thing you like to have and do and just sort of watch the day pass by, or people watch, or, talk to your neighbors, it's just a great way of being outside and having an outdoor living space. And you can sit out on a chair or a couch, or maybe even a porch swing, and just read your favorite book, or, watch Netflix on your iPad. Then beach homes are definitely something that you're going to fall in love with, because so many of the homes do have a beautiful front porch. If you're raising a family in the beach, obviously schools are going to be of top priority to you. And depending on the type of education you want your children to have, you've got a wide range of options. So you can go to the Balmy Beach Community School, which is more towards the east side of the beach. If you want your children to experience French immersion or extended French at the elementary age level, you're looking at Williamson Road. There's also Norway School for the kids further to the west side of the beach, as well as Kew Gardens Elementary School, which is on the south side of Queen Street towards the center part of the beach. Those are the main elementary schools options for the children. Once they go to middle school, if it's just in the regular public sector, the TDSB, Glen Ames is the middle school for grades 7 and 8. If your children are doing Catholic school, you're looking at St. Denis, Notre Dame, or St. John's. And then as high school goes for the boys, they would go to Neil McNeil. Those are schools in the area that are all walkable and easy to get to. So it's a great feeling as a parent to know once your kids get to the age where they can walk to school on their own, off they go, and they all walk to school. You don't have to worry about bus schedules and things like that. There is a gifted program that some of the kids do get bused out of the area, or not too far out of the area, but to really the upper beach, which is more like Coxwell and Gerard area at Beaumont. The high school for the TDSB that kids in the beach neighborhood attend is Malvern Collegiate. That's located just north of Kingston Road, south of Gerard, between Main Street and Victoria Park, right in that pocket there. Again, most kids can walk there, certainly by the time they're teenagers. If it's a little too far for them to walk, it's an easy bike ride. One of the other challenges about living in the beach is parking. And this topic comes up all the time. It gets debated in the community. And when you are doing your home search, depending on the street you're going to consider living on is really going to determine how much parking is available or not. And there's a great example on Willow Avenue. A lot of the residents have, painted in lines where they've clearly measured how many cars can fit along the curb for street parking. So I think it's a great, way of the community being creative. It's actually been reported in the news that they had taken it upon themselves and done it. City of Toronto probably wasn't too happy about it, but people have made it work. And you have to also confirm the legality of the parking. We have a lot of houses where there's rights of way, mutual driveways, and in a lot of cases, neighbors can cooperate and work together and maybe share that space depending on the size of their cars. But it's really important to make sure that you have a lawyer that pulls title, and really you got to make sure you have a realtor that knows the community to do this step when it comes to making an offer on a home, because it has a significant impact on value. As an example, in today's market, parking on a beach property is worth about $100,000. So, that's a pretty significant difference in terms of price values. And certainly if you've bought a home and you expect that parking comes with the home on the property, you would hate to find out after the fact of buying the home that in fact the parking isn't legal. And it's definitely come up for some people. So it's something that is a hot button topic. It's very sensitive here in the beach, whether it's legal front pad parking, rights of way, mutual drives, private drives, or laneway parking. So it's definitely something to research when you're considering buying a home in the beach. Another topic of discussion when living in the beach has a lot to do with the etiquette of cyclists and joggers alike. And a lot of us use the Martin Goodman Trail or the boardwalk. Obviously, if it's the boardwalk, cyclists aren't on that path. So you're just between joggers and just people walking as pedestrians. And it can get congested at times because a lot of people come to visit the beach from outside the neighborhood. And cyclists, obviously, the joggers are as pedestrians. You just have to be mindful, but it is a topic that comes up all the time with people crossing the pathways and maybe not taking that extra second to look. It's just like when you're driving a car on the road and there might be a pedestrian on their cell phone not watching where they're going, but you as the person operating the vehicle have to yield to those pedestrians. So it is a topic of conversation that comes up often in the beach, and it's just something that if you're a person that's into the outdoors, maybe you run, maybe you cycle, you may already be aware of this, but if you're new to Toronto and you're not familiar with the community, this is something that you definitely need to be mindful of when you're moving to the beach. A couple of other items I wanted to make you aware of before considering moving to the beach area is I mentioned it earlier about the older homes, and a lot of times that what comes with the older homes are expensive renovations. So again, if you have the finances and you can afford the budget, then it's not necessarily a negative because you can make that home your own, put your own stamp on it, and design it to the taste that you like it, which is terrific. Also, some of the streets in the beach are on big hills. So the beach itself it is a pretty hilly area depending on the street. So again, it might not be for everybody. Again, if you're an outdoor person, you spent all day out at the beach, just remember that walk coming home is going to be a little bit tougher than the walk going out. Some of the incredible things about living in the beach, you know, people love the fact that they can walk to their grocery stores, whether it's the produce store carload right on Queen Street, just at Lee Avenue. It's a favorite spot for people to go shopping, get fresh produce. It could be, walking to your favorite restaurant in the neighborhood. That's what really makes this neighborhood such a great community, is that you truly can walk everywhere. If you're working in downtown and you don't want to drive, you've got multiple transit options. TTC, you've got streetcars on both Queen Street and Kingston Road. Really easy access to the GO train, which is just behind Ted Reeve Arena at Gerrard and Main Street, or just between Gerrard and Danforth. You have to go over the railway bridge to actually get to the GO train station. And then you've got 3 subway stations, whether it be Victoria Park, Main Street, or Coxwell. So depending on where you have to travel to in the city, it's really easy access. And being in the beach, sometimes people don't like the idea of the streetcars being on the surface. It really can bottleneck traffic up, and as things are already congested in the beach, and we've discussed it earlier, challenges of parking. But what's also really great is that people really do love to support the local shops. So whether it's the local hardware store, restaurant, grocery store, all of those things are really walkable, and people do love to walk down to those shops and shop local. And that's a big part of the community pride. The other thing is some of the events that are put on here in the beach. The third week of July traditionally is the Jazz Festival. Queen Street gets shut down between Woodbine and Beach Avenue. Lots of great musicians playing on every street corner. Different food trucks and things like that. So it's always a great event. You've got the Easter Parade, which has a lot of history and tradition on the beach. Also along Queen Street, we do a Santa Claus parade on Kingston Road. And the Lions Club puts on a great Christmas tree area where you can purchase your Christmas trees and decorations, etc. And it's also well known on the beach. They'll even deliver the tree installed. It's called the Divorce Saver because, spouses don't have to fight about whether or not the tree is level or not. It comes installed, good to go. Some of the streets I'd like to make mention of, they're beautiful streets. There's so many in the beach, so I'm definitely not going to be able to name all of them because the video would be too long. But please comment below if there's any streets that are your favorites or an area in the beach that I didn't mention that you'd like to point out. Please comment below and maybe I can do a future video on some of those. But I think of streets like Balsam Avenue and Road, Munro Park Avenue, which is just south of Queen Street, really leads up, very picturesque, leads up to the water. The street's beautifully umbrellaed by the oak trees. I think of Spruce Hill Road, Beaufort, Glen Manor, you have Glen Stewart. As you go a little bit to the west, you've got streets like Ludi and Hambley, and there's just so many nice, big, beautiful properties. A street like Kingswood, where there's a lot of large lots, 50-foot lots, which is rare for this area, or they're in small supply. Most of the properties are on, lot sizes between 15 feet and 25 feet. And then some of the bigger lots are more like, 30 feet and above. But these are just a few of the streets that I really love here in the beach. And again, I'd love to hear your feedback on some of your favorite spots. As you can see, the beach offers such an incredible lifestyle to so many different people. Whether you have a young family and you've planted roots here and you're taking the kids to Ted Reeve hockey or beach community soccer, or maybe you've lived here for 50 plus years and you've already raised a family and now your grandchildren live in the community and you're part of the Balmy Beach Club and you do lawn bowling or you go paddleboarding and kayaking. The beach really does offer so many wonderful opportunities. I hope you found this content valuable, and I'll see you on the next video.